Namaste. Welcome to all. This is Dr. Gayatri Harikumar, Associate Professor and Head at Guru Nanak College. It gives me immense pleasure to talk to you all and share some of my views about the life skills that are required for students. So, this is just a small share from my side that I thought should be essential for all the students, with maybe higher secondary students or secondary students or the students at college. It would be helping them to prepare themselves for life at a larger level. So, I would like to I would like to quote Albert Einstein: once you stop learning, you start dying. So I think learning is very required and essential skill. Whether you are 2 years old or 5 years old or 10 years old or 20 or 30, you should start learning and never stop that process, because you think that once you reach your 40s or 50s, you're old enough and you need not learn anything. But learning keeps you alive, learning something. Maybe when you are in 20s or 30s, you can learn some skill. Like if you don't know cooking, you can learn as a man. As a woman, you don't know to ride a bike, you can learn. Drive a car, you can learn. So learning something, not necessarily a streamlined education, but something that you learn keeps your brain active, and you feel that you are very energetic and alive once you start developing some hobby and start learning. In the words of Henry Ford, anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or at 80. So, anyone who keeps learning always stays young. So, the teachers in this profession really feel blessed, because we are surrounded by students who are always energetic, lively, and who show passion in learning new things. And we are also equally learners and mentors who exchange ideas and information and thereby learn throughout our lifetime. Importance of education, why education is important, why don't we stay as such and do some business and earn money? Ultimately, earning money is not the very essence of life. Education is essential for the key points that are explained here. The beautiful thing about learning is that no one can take it away from you. The knowledge is the only thing that comes along with you wherever you go to any part of the world. Nobody can steal this asset. It always stays with you. Education breeds confidence. Confidence, yes, you, whatever your educational qualification, whatever it is, if you're very thorough in your concepts and if you're very strong in your subject, it automatically brings a level of confidence and hopes, and that gives a sense of peace to you, because you know that somehow you can survive in this world because you are quite knowledgeable. Then every morning you have to get up with determination and say that I will do this, I will achieve this, I will learn this thing new. And that night you can analyze what all you have done and go with a sense of satisfaction, saying that I have accomplished the purpose for this day. Teachers open the door for the students and the learners, but it is ultimately the students who must open the door, get into it, and learn something and take some knowledge along with them. Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. So you're giving some money or something to somebody, it can be of use and help for that person only for that day. But if you give him a skill, if you teach him, if you train him to catch a fish, then you're feeding for a lifetime. So I think the role of teachers in future would not only be to impart knowledge, but also to give some skills and training so that they could set up the life of their own. Core values for students. The aim of education is the knowledge, not of facts, but of values. I think this is a twin purpose of education: building the knowledge level and competency level of the students, and also building a value set. Because values are very important, because that is the one that will take the student or the learner lifelong to the heights. So I think nobody should be compromising their values to achieve some mean purpose in a short period of time. Core values that are required for learners and students: keeping themselves fit and healthy. Yes, Why do you call it a value? Only if you're hale and healthy, you can think of learning something new. You can think of doing some help to others. You can think of holding or sustaining your values. So, maintaining your whole health is very essential. You have to eat healthy food and keep yourself fit. Personal and psychological development is the second value. Of course, when you're mentally matured, you know how to balance your emotions and you know how to face the external world. Third value is day to day learning. I've already said that learning is not for 10-year-old person or for a 12-year-old kid or for a 20-year-old adult. It is a lifelong process. Everybody are learning and learning till we go to the grave. And work situations help you to learn new things, to interact with your peer, to face the business, to face the different environment and develop a positive attitude. That's very important because when you don't have the positive attitude, you lose all the knowledge and skill that you've acquired because you think that you are not very good. So this kind of negativity kills your knowledge and attitude. Then we have the to cherish the value of being responsible citizens, because when we don't do our duty and be patriotic to our mother country, then we are failing in our duty, because this is a country which has given us birth, which has given us education, which has taught us to be good citizens, and therefore we have to do something to the country. We at least we as citizens, even if we are not doing anything socially responsible, we can at least abide by the law prescribed by the government. And in these COVID times, I think we as responsible citizens should be staying at home and abiding by the law so as to ensure that the country comes out of the crisis situation. Next value is love. Yes, love means showing compassion and affection to the fellow human beings. Empathy, putting yourself in other shoes and thinking what it would have been if I had suffered that, what it would have been if I had been in her situation or his situation. So if you think in that way, then you automatically get rid of all the negative feelings, jealousy, and all other aspects, and you try to be little more matured and compassionate. Caring, sharing, of course, we in Indian culture have that feeling in us. So when we see a person facing a difficulty, automatically we, the students, of course, they're all very smart. The students, they are more having all these values than all the adults, because they give a helping hand to their friends, to all that meet on a day-to-day basis. So I think this value is already inbuilt in students. And compassion, of course, compassion is not only in being affectionate and loving to your known people, but it is also meaning that you're a little compassionate to the third person. Suppose you see somebody, you're traveling by bus, you're as students, if you see some elderly person coming in the bus and if they are standing, you can just offer them a seat, and that is compassion. Compassion is showing love to a person who is not connected to you, right? Next, creative thinking. Creative thinking, of course, where that's called jugaad in Hindi, which means that you find new kinds of solution to problems that already exist. For example, if you don't know how to use one tool and you're lacking that, you can find out an alternative tool and overcome that situation. You can complete the job, not thinking that I don't have this, I don't have that tool, so I cannot do this job. That kind of negative thinking will put you down. So creative thinking is using the available tools and finding a solution to the existing problem. Critical thinking, of course, that has to be developed, that skill has to be developed, whereby you are able to think more. Only when you know the subject you can critically think. So critical thinking requires a lot of practice and some kind of knowledge acquisition. So critical thinking can be built over a period of time by students. What should we be good as a student? Academics alone? No, I think that is not the only talent or the only knowledge base that is required in this era of digitalization. You require life skills. What are life skills? Life skills are behaviors that enable individuals to adapt and deal effectively with the demands and challenges of life. There are many such skills. But core life skills include the ability to have the following 10 core life skills, and these are prescribed by WHO, that is World Health Organization. The first life skill is the self awareness. That is, you're analyzing your own, doing your own SWOT analysis, analyzing your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and finding out what you're good at, and trying to improve on your weaknesses, trying to overcome your threats, and build on your strengths and avail the opportunities in order to ensure that you are able to face the external world more confidently. Then empathy. Empathy is where you are, as explained earlier, it is where you are trying to put yourself in other shoes, think of their problems. Okay, he is very angry with me, he is showing a hard face, he is not talking to me properly, not because I am not good, but we have to think that okay, he is having some problem at home, he is not able to open his mouth because he is scared, he has a reserved mentality. You have to so analyze the other person's problem, and then you have to come to a decision or a thinking about the person and come to a conclusion. Critical thinking, as already said, you have to build the skill for which you have to analyze the acquire the knowledge, analyze various things logically, and then come to a conclusion. Creative thinking, of course, everybody are creative in their own sense. Some are good at art, some are good at painting, some are good at music, some are good at handling digital marketing. So whatever is your forte, you can try to build upon that and ensure that you are becoming a master in that field. Decision making, of course, certain people do not have this skill because they are not very confident about themselves. Decision making is a very key skill. For example, if you're a student itself, you may have to decide as to whether I have to join a company X or Y if you are having two offers. Then you have to make some kind of an analysis about that company and come to a decision. Once you have decided and gone into that company, you should not brood over the choice that you have missed or the opportunity that you have not grabbed. So decision, that's your decision. So you have to take responsibility of your for all your actions and take decisions wisely. After, you can take the advice of people around and make decisions. But the decision ultimately should be made by you, not by your parents, not by your peer group, not by your friends, not by your siblings, etc. So you have to make your decisions. Problem solving, of course, everybody at 20s or 30s or 40s or 50s, we face different problems according to our ages. So that problem only if you're strongly having a spiritual thinking, and if you believe in God, then you can lean to spirituality and solve your problems. But if you're not a spiritual person, then I think you can rationally analyze the problems and come to a solution. Effective communication, of course, you have to develop knowledge of the languages that you've learned. English, of course, is the business language, so you have to learn to write more than writing, to speak properly, because that gives the first impression to your peers, to your employment circle, to your business circle, to all your friends, that as to how effectively you are communicating. Effective communication means understanding and reciprocating in a proper way, and also in a language without any grammatical errors, so that the communication between you and the other person is understood in the proper manner in which you wanted to communicate. Interpersonal relationship is, of course, a relationship between you and the other person in a college, in a work environment, etc. So you may not like a person A or a B person B. But if you're asked to work in a certain project with that person, I think you should set aside all these kind of anger, jealous, or any kind of hatred, and work with that person in a professional manner to ensure that the purpose of that task is accomplished. For that, you need to develop your professional competencies. Coping with stress. Of course, all of us in this COVID times are very worried as to when we will be back to our workplace, when we will be back to our college or to our study place, and go ahead in a very optimistic manner. So that stress, you can relieve your stress only when you practice your hobby, lean some towards the hobbies that will give you some kind of soothing experience or feeling. Then helping others, you need not go and help others over or being on the ground. You can do something on social media, post some good things, motivate your friends, talk to your friends, etc. Digital communication will help you to cope up with stress. Coping with emotion, that is of course more of emotional intelligence, because we cannot succeed if we have only the knowledge, that is intelligence quotient. IQ is not sufficient for any person to survive in this modern world. Emotional intelligence, whereby you're able to interact with the other person, understand their mind, communicate effectively in the manner that gives a positive outcome to both the persons, would be an emotionally called an emotionally intelligent person. I think you should always be trying to be emotionally intelligent, for which you have to analyze your behavior and cope up your emotions. Thank you. So I'm really thankful for the opportunity that is given. Thank you.